We are back, and here we are to talk about Kevin Durant. That is the entire point of this extra live stream, a bonus live stream, if you will, today. Now, I can't be live for extremely long tonight. Of course, I have other content to record. I'm also going to have the Dallas Mavericks game on here, kind of either in the background or foreground, however you want to look at it. I'm going to be trying to watch this Mavericks game against the 76ers for Max Christie's debut, while we also go live on the channel, and we've got just crazy stuff going on here. Carter Lee, welcome back. Icy Demp, welcome back. He says, "We back. Houston, don't do it, please." And here's the rumors. We are on The Athletic. Welcome everyone to the stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button right away and subscribe. Mason M has been watching the channel for a long time. Make sure to leave a like. Strawberry Goat says Durant. Apparently Durant is actually hurt. He is out tomorrow. That is, of course, some of the big news. Mavericks just traded Kyrie Irving to the Celtics for a stick of gum. That did not happen. I don't even know if Boston would want him back. Honestly, Ram fan, I'm confused what is going on with Nurk. And Carter Lee here says, I just got jump scared by the stream. And it's very clear what we're doing here. We're talking about Kevin Durant. You guys know who he is. It's all about KD in this stream. And the reason for this stream, The Athletic, 26 minutes ago, post with the Suns gauging the market for Kevin Durant. The Houston Rockets are contemplating a pursuit of the 36-year-old superstar. And if we go on The Athletic as well, here are some other situations. As the Warriors continue their pursuit of Kevin Durant, two players of interest have emerged for the Suns. Draymond Green, who has an established relationship with the Suns owner, Matt Ishbia. Remember, there's that Michigan State connection. Let me republish this. There we go. Let me close that. Okay, here we go. The Michigan State connection between Draymond Green and Matt Ishbia is very notable here. So remember, that's a huge thing between Matt Ishbia and Kevin Durant. And then, of course, Jonathan Kuminga would be the young player that they have interest in. This is The Athletic's reporting on this. Obviously, The Athletic does a very good job. For the most part, trustworthy sources. And obviously, very high-level people. And then also very high-level reporters. Now, also here, the Mavericks have dreams. This is all according to The Athletic. The Mavericks have dreams of adding Kevin Durant to their duo of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. I floated this earlier today, if you guys remember, talking about a Nike executive and Kevin Durant being a Nike signature athlete, a Nike guy at heart. Mavericks have dreams of adding Kevin Durant to their duo of Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving. Notably, Anthony Davis, Nike. Kyrie Irving, before all of the stuff a couple of years ago, Nike. This is not accidental. While a deal appears unlikely to happen, the mere idea sheds new light on the thinking of GM Nico Harrison. I mean, not really, because you're, again, pairing together a very old trio. We have good history of what happens when you do something like this. You know what's going to happen, essentially. But these are the three teams in on Durant. The Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, and the Dallas Mavericks. Those are the headliners. So, if you're Phoenix, who would you trade him to and why? So there's a variety of different things that there's a plethora of different reasons to go different directions. First of all, FT23, a Middleton Kuzma swap could be coming soon. Yes, we will keep our eyes up to date on that. Now, again, I cannot be alive for a long time here tonight, but I can be live for a little while, okay? Devin Williams wants to know about Kevin Durant to the Grizzlies. Right now, I think the forerunners for Kevin Durant are these three teams on the thumbnail. The Dallas Mavericks, the Houston Rockets, and at the very heart of it, the very center, just like they are on the thumbnail, the Golden State Warriors in a reunion. The Warriors, let's walk through what each team has to offer. We're going to go over to the trade machine. Again, obviously trying to figure some things out. We have a lot of crazy stuff going on. This was our older Nick Claxton trade that we had looked at earlier today. Again, I did not expect to be live again tonight. But I do think this specifically warrants another stream, an additional stream, a bonus stream, whatever you want to call it. It's a Kevin Durant stream, okay? This is all about Kevin Durant. This is who we're talking about. We have the Phoenix Suns. And we're going to talk through every possibility. starting with the Golden State Warriors, who I think should be considered the favorites right now, the absolute favorite. A Jimmy Butler update just came out, says, Graham saying, we are going to keep our eyes, of course, on all the news, but all the big news especially is going to be what we're really watching for. That's going to be the biggest thing. So I point blank, I don't love a Kevin Durant acquisition for a majority of the teams. For a majority of the teams, I really do not. Wake Up here says time for Booker to demand a trade to Detroit. Well, we'll see. This might breathe life into the Suns organization. What happens here in the next 48 hours, or a little bit less than that, even in the next 44 hours, the Phoenix Suns might be able to find life, and it's from trading Kevin Durant away, depending on the package they get. If it is something like Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga at the heart of a deal, now you see financially here, this doesn't even get done. So this is where one of those things, like this deal is quite problematic in a variety of ways because of the salaries, especially. And you're going to need a third team involved. You just flat out are going to need a third team. We're going to put Washington in here. You guys know why. They have this significant trade exception. They are a team that makes a ton of sense from a trade exception standpoint. The Wizards are going to be our designated third, fourth team, whatever it takes today. You guys heard Kaushan. Make sure to leave a like. Again, we are talking about Kevin Durant in this live stream. Alfred Matthews says if Stone allows Durant to go to Dallas, then he better be fired. I don't think so. If you're Rafael Stone, you should be worried about your team. Giovanni says stuff, capital STUFF. Stuff is going to be reported after midnight. We'll see. Make sure, again, you guys smash that like button. But potential trades. And the entire point of this stream is to discuss all the possible options and why things make sense and why possible trades could go the way that we think they could possibly go. And in this deal, if you're looking for Phoenix, what is the prerogative? What's the bonus here? What's the long-term plan? It is recenter your franchise. It is fix your franchise. And trading Kevin Durant might be the option to do that. If you can get a lot of value for Kevin Durant, which any trade with the Golden State Warriors or Dallas Mavericks or Houston Rockets, you will get elite value. And the reason for that is contracts. You will get a lot of players. These teams, the players that I would expect them to trade, do not have huge contracts. Again, you're not getting Steph Curry in a deal for Durant, obviously. So Draymond Green, $24 million is only half the salary. With that in mind, then, the Warriors have other things that they have to do. One of them could be trading Dennis Schroeder, technically, to the Wizards if they wanted to go that way. Let me look something up quick. Wednesday will mark 60 days since the trade. Dennis Schroeder becomes trade eligible tomorrow, which means they'll be allowed to aggregate. So right now, he has this RT tag right here. That RT tag recently traded lifts tomorrow. So a KD trade is not confirmed to happen. We are talking through the possibilities of it right now. Ethan P says, thank you for the 5, Ethan. He says, I think that KD is going to the Warriors and Jimmy's going to the Suns. And Andrew Wiggins is going to end up on the Heat. Do you think that's possible? That is a possibility. What I want to do, though, right now is I want to focus primarily on Durant landing without Jimmy being involved. Okay? The more teams we include, the less likely it becomes. I want to speak specifically on Durant directly to these teams and as few teams as possible. Golden State, the only reason Washington's in here, the Warriors are a first apron team. Suns are a second apron team. They literally just need a third team unless they had perfect salaries that line up, which they do not. So when it comes to getting this deal done, what are some of the potential roadblocks? Again, Schroeder's recently traded tag being lifted fixes one of those roadblocks. He goes to Phoenix in this deal as well. And now you're starting to see how this money lines up and how this works really, really well in a potential trade, okay? This is kind of the beginning framework. We're going to take Gary Payton II out of this trade right now. Financially, this is where, again, we're running into some problems. This works on the Phoenix side of things. From a financial perspective, Schroeder is someone who could definitely get the money close enough to helping the Suns, and he would also be a player who could make sense for their roster in some kind of trade, right? He would be an upgrade at the point guard spot with Tyus Jones in conjunction. That would be a good 1-2 combination when it comes to their overall roster. Cavs are showing interest in DeAndre Hunter, by the way. I'm not going to worry about that right now. We are focused on Kevin Durant. So in this package, what we're looking at now, $44 million of salary coming in. Now, there's other ways to add more salary in if we want to, but we don't necessarily have to, because all we have to do now is make sure that the Suns' outgoing number is less than the incoming number, and we have to make sure that the Warriors' incoming number is also less than the outgoing number. And the easiest way to do that is to route someone like Gary Payton II to Washington. When it comes to draft capital, we will trade that to the Wizards. And also, very notably, the Wizards might be a perfect spot for this because they have this Warriors 2029 first-round pick in here, okay? They have a Warriors 2029 first. I'm not sure if it is in here. I'm in connection with Fanspo, by the way. We are working together. Can you guys get the Warriors 2029 top 20 protected onto the Wizards draft collection? Fanspo is helping me out a big time. They're helping out with all the trade deadline live stream stuff. So shout out to them. They fixed one of the modified contract issues earlier. I don't know if it ends exactly at midnight. I just know it ends tomorrow. I don't know the exact time at this point. It could be tomorrow at like 4 p.m. I have no idea, honestly. But essentially the most important thing is that Schroeder's recently traded restriction becomes available tomorrow before the trade deadline on Thursday. So Kevin Durant to Golden State is alive and possibly well because of this situation. The Warriors would trade a second-round pick to get off of Gary Payton. Okay, he would go into some room here. And then also they could eat a small bit of salary back if they wanted to in this. Although from the trade exception standpoint, that might be a little difficult for obvious reasons. So just with this involved, this is where we're at right now. We're going to involve a draft pick, 2025 first to Phoenix, and maybe a 2027 first to Phoenix. Okay, this is kind of the beginning framework of a deal. Now it's going to say failed here because of the recently traded tag. Remember, that will be lifted tomorrow. So the source here has the source is The Athletic. This is a good source. Okay, let me go back over to The Athletic so everyone can see the source one more time. You guys need to see all of the sources. We're going to go over to The Athletic right now. Here's the sources. As the Warriors continue their pursuit of Kevin Durant, two players of interest have emerged for the Suns. Draymond Green, Michigan State guy. Matt Ishbia is a Michigan State guy. And Jonathan Kuminga. Okay, that's the news from The Athletic. Also reporting here, the Mavericks have dreams of adding Kevin Durant to their duo of Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving. League sources tell The Athletic, while a deal appears unlikely to happen, the mere idea sheds new light on the thinking of GM Nico Harrison. And The Athletic here as well. With the Suns gauging the market for Kevin Durant, the Houston Rockets are contemplating a pursuit of the 36-year-old superstar. So we will see what happens. KD to Dallas would be a possibility. There's a lot of possibilities here. And again, we're going to keep our eyes on all of them, which is why this stream exists. Okay, the only point of this stream is to talk Kevin Durant. And Dallas, and listen, they all have unique reasons as to why they make sense. Golden State, obviously, the Warriors know better than anyone what he looks like next to Steph Curry. Now, good. Remember, this says failed because of the recently traded restriction. It's also possible that the Suns could get more out of this, right? They could fit more salary in. But something like this could be the initial framework at the very least. Including Moses Moody with the poison pill provision makes it very, very difficult. Keep that in mind, but he could be a player that a third team would love to get. Okay. But you don't know. Phoenix, I'm sure, would want him. Golden State would want to keep him. But if it came down to it, would the Warriors be willing to give up Draymond Green and Jonathan Kuminga and Dennis Schroeder? I mean, the Warriors, as we know it, are done. They gave up Klay Thompson. They allowed him to go in free agency last year. And if you think that they're not going to be willing to part with Draymond Green for this version of Kevin Durant, you're wrong. They will. They will do it. Now, are they eager to do it? Are they like, oh, yeah, sign us up, buy Draymond Green? No. But when it comes down to it, the Suns, if they're willing to part with Kevin Durant, the Warriors push comes to shove, they will trade Draymond Green to get an all-star version of Kevin Durant. Welcome, everyone. Yugi here says Houston has the better packages, which is true, in my opinion. But if you're Houston, you better hope you don't trade those better packages. There's a reason they're better, and it's because they're good, very good young players. This is the beginning framework of a deal. And with this in mind, if the Warriors did make Jonathan Kuminga available, the Suns are clearly pointing to wanting to stay competitive with Draymond Green while also wanting to keep their future positive long-term and improving their long-term future a little bit right now by keeping Jonathan Kuminga in this deal and trying to get a young player who has upside and potential to be a elite scoring option potentially. You also have the situation with Durant and Draymond. Are they going to be teammates again? That's kind of strange. MLB Scoops. I don't know what MLB Scoops is. I'm not sure. They're saying breaking Suns are on the verge of trading megastar Kevin Durant. We will see. I'm not certain on that yet. Okay, this is part of why we're live right here is in case something does happen. Okay, we are live on the channel talking only about Kevin Durant. Okay, and we will continue to stay live talking about Kevin Durant in the event that something happens. But this is something that I think is extremely sensible for the three teams involved here. Let's now go and pivot from the Warriors. Let's talk about the Houston Rockets and why, if you're a Rockets fan, you should not want this to happen. Okay, this is a non-tax team right now as it currently sits. Durant for Dillon Brooks. Dillon Brooks would be the beginning salary in this. And then this is where you run into issues. Jalen Green's contract probably would need to be included. But you look at the incoming now, this is where we see real problems. Okay, so Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks just flat out does not work for Phoenix. It really does not. From a financial component, like we hit go here, what you're going to see is it fails for both sides. This is why the poison pill provision is so deadly, because the number coming in for Phoenix is significantly higher than the number going out for Houston, and it's because of Jalen Green's extension, which is why I thought maybe they wouldn't have extended him. But they did, and it's fine that they extended him, but if they're going to make a win-now trade like this, which is why I don't think they're going to get Kevin Durant, That's what we're keeping our eyes on here, okay? Everyone stay tuned. This is crazy, obviously. There's a lot of insane stuff going on. The Dallas Mavericks, though, are a team that makes sense. So let's get Jalen Green out of here. What other pathway do they have financially? They could go with the expiring contracts. Landale, Jeff Green's in here. They probably would like to keep Steven Adams if possible. So we could take Steven Adams out of this theoretically and maybe go somewhere more like Jayshawn Tate. But now you look at this and you say, okay, is this package really that attractive for Phoenix? Not really, unless you're getting a really good young player or multiple. And that's where, okay, is Reed Shepherd involved? If Reed Shepherd's involved, you take out one of these salaries. Let's take out Jeff Green, for example, and we're going to put Reed Shepherd in. You're seeing financially how this is starting to come together possibly. But Cam Whitmore in. Again, financially, how is this coming together? We're really close. Right now, not at a point where a deal could actually be made, though. So, again, this is where you're going to have some problems along the way. We're within $100,000 and the deal does not work. When I hit try trade here, it's going to say failed. And it, again, comes down to $119,000. Again, this does not work, okay? But this is exactly what Too Clutch Corey's saying here. Any trade of Kevin Durant will be insane. It's very insane. And we're going to get to check Legion Hoops. Okay, I'm going to go over there now. Make sure you guys are tagging me on Twitter if something is happening, okay? I went over to MLB Scoops, by the way. Their take, Suns are on the verge of trading megastar Kevin Durant. Don't know if that's real or not. Let's look at this. The Dallas Mavericks are looking to add Kevin Durant next to Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis. Again, this is per The Athletic. Yes, thanks for the tag, though. Thanks, guys, for tagging me. That way I can make sure I can see it and also can bring it up on the stream very easily. Again, this is what I said earlier today. Nike executive and Nike signature athlete. You got Nico Harrison, who worked for Nike. You have Kevin Durant, who has been employed by Nike as an athlete. Okay, this is kind of not unpredictable. Why do you think he traded for Anthony Davis? Why do you think he had Kyrie Irving? He knew Kyrie Irving personally before trading for him. Kevin Durant back to Golden State would break the internet. I completely agree. But there's a lot of crazy stuff that could happen. Dave Rose says, could you imagine KD in an OKC jersey? I mean, he would be tremendous there for sure. Matthew says, Sheldon, to be honest, at this point, I believe in any rumor, craziest trade deadline ever. It's an insane deadline. It's an insane deadline. Dave Rose says Nico Harrison is just screwing around at this point. Nico Harrison is trying to do something that I don't think, like, you couldn't even pull this off at a 2K and NBA 2K trade deadline. Okay, this is absurd. What is happening here? But again, back to this Houston package. This financially does not work. So you're going to need a little bit of flexibility here between these contracts. Cam Whitmore, we're not going to include him in this deal. But this is the problem. Now you're like, okay, well, is that something that the deal could fall apart over? The Rockets might not want all of this expiring salary, or the Suns might not want all of this expiring salary only. So then let's go back and let's get Cam Whitmore in the deal. That is a player that I think Phoenix would very, very much like in return. And now, again, you're seeing some of the downsides here with where we're at financially. It, again, just does not work. So we're going to take Jock Landale out. How do we make up some of this money? We could include Aaron Holiday. We get to a point where this trade does work, and we have the Phoenix picks. Now, the issue here, and this is a very important note, this trade cannot happen unless the Rockets get a 2026 first-round pick back or a 2025 first, and that's where this pick matters. Oh my God, I'm putting all the math together. Everyone, come here. We're going over to Twitter. In any potential Durant trade with the Rockets, that Cleveland 2025 first is almost essential. Rockets swap best in 25 is currently locked due to Stepien rule via Suns here. I want to make sure I'm clear. In 2025 is currently locked due to the Stepien rule, but would be movable if, and again, I'm going to put this in, if the Suns send a 2025 first back to Houston. That, I think, is a very important note. Okay, that is a very important caveat. David, thank you for the follow over on Twitter. Appreciate you a ton. Let's go back over. So we're doing the math on all of this. You guys can see how all of this is going to kind of come together. Okay, the rules, the Stepien rule, all this stuff is extremely, extremely important. Okay, this 2025 first is really, really valuable. What else do the Rockets have that the Suns would want? They would want their own 2027 first back, and they would want this 2029 pick, which is basically, you could argue how it's kind of in there, but it would be something like this. Okay, this would be the construction of a deal. Dylan Brooks, Reed Shepherd, Jayshawn Tate, Aaron Holiday, Cam Whitmore, and the three Suns first-round picks. The Rockets would get back this first-round pick to appease the Stepien rule, and they would get Kevin Durant. Again, you can make arguments about some of the downsides of this for Houston. I think very easily you can see how this could go poorly for them long term. You're giving up three possibly extremely valuable draft picks. The Suns pick might be a lottery pick this year. And then you also look at the 2027, 2029 picks as very likely valuable. And you're giving up a guy you just took third overall in Reed Shepherd. You're giving up expiring salary. You're giving up a young player in Cam Whitmore, who you believe in going forward, has had some really nice stuff for your team. And like people are saying here, people are saying that's trash for Houston. That's exactly my concern, which is why I have maintained the position for 8 months. If you go back to when Woj reported potential interest in Houston for Durant, I have said ever since that moment, trading for Kevin Durant would be a mistake. And the salaries here are the reason why. Houston really cannot afford to give up this many pieces, young players, and Suns draft picks for a 36-year-old Kevin Durant. While, yes, it does elevate their team pretty significantly this season, it's basically from their real playoff rotation, you're trading Dylan Brooks and Cam Whitmore, the two guys who are actually getting minutes for your team that matter, for Kevin Durant. That's a very significant upgrade. But again, it costs you a whole lot of your future. And I think that's a real challenge here. Levi Sports and Card says, thank you for the 5, by the way. He says, keep up the good work. Saw a rumor for the Athletic that sends Butler to the Suns and Wiggins to the Heat and 3-team deal. Can you work out a mock? Yes, we will talk about that here in a minute, but I do want to first focus on did Shams tweet something? You guys have me paranoid here. If something happens, tag me. Shams. Nothing yet from Shams. Okay, I'm getting scared. Woo! Okay, but this is the package. This is the Suns Rockets package for the most part. Is there any way the Spurs can get Booker? I don't think so. What I really think is going to happen here is I think the Suns are going to try and thread the needle like how Sacramento did with De'Aaron Fox, where they're going to try and get picks and players that help. I think Dillon Brooks, Reed Shepherd, Cam Whitmore would be significant long-term pieces for Phoenix. You think about Brooks' fit, a real point of attack defender who can help them. Brings a lot of toughness, grit, shooting the ball really well this season as well. Okay. Reed Shepherd, I think tremendous long-term player, potential all-star upside, but this is great. Honestly, really great. And Cam Whitmore to Phoenix as well would be another core build-around young player to have. This would also give them salary cap relief long-term with the expiring of Jayshawn Tate and getting off of Aaron Holiday's contract after a couple of years, or having it as a tradable asset going into next year, and getting 3 first-round picks. This is a tremendous reset for Phoenix, and I think a long-term mistake for Houston if they make that kind of move. Talking about long-term mistakes, here's my Dallas Mavericks. Okay, KD to Dallas would be lit. It would be a lot of fun to watch. I think it would be a mistake. And we're going to see how it goes. But this is exactly the deal. Okay, the money is super obvious what has to happen. PJ, Gafford, you look at the money on this deal now, $44 million. We go after Kevin Durant. The issue here, Dallas is hard capped at the first apron. They cannot do this. They have to send out $5.7 million more of salary. Now, there's a couple ways they could do it. They could go Dwight Powell plus something else. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do Dwight Powell plus Max Prosper as a salary to get out of the apron, or to get under the apron. Now, again, financially, this does not technically work because of the Mavs would have to sign players. So you're going to also have to maybe consider doing something a little bit different than this. So if we take Dwight Powell out, take Max Prosper out, it might have to be Najee Marshall. Okay. Again, you're giving up 4 players in your actual rotation for 1 guy. Does this seem like a smart trade? No, it does not. Now, Najee Marshall, again, you run into the financial issues here. Too much money is going to Phoenix. This is why trades here, especially between these 2 teams, are very difficult, very tough to actually sustain and work out and figure out because of these financial dilemmas, which will hold things up for both teams. But you get a 3rd team involved here. Again, we're going to go to Washington as our designated 3rd team. The one benefit, Houston doesn't need a 3rd team to help them out. Dallas and Golden State both do. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way. Really appreciate you guys. We'll see what happens. King Nacho says, yep, starts with Lively. I don't think you're getting Derek Lively in this. I think the plan is, for salary-wise, Gafford's going to have to be in it. So you probably walk away with some package centered around Exum being in this deal. And then we're going to also include salary-wise Daniel Gafford in this to the Wizards. Or not Daniel Gafford, sorry, Dwight Powell in this to the Wizards. The Mavericks give up the 2nd-round pick to Washington. And then also with this in mind, just looking at where the picks are at, Dallas has not 1, not 2, but 3 first-round picks. Again, this deal says does not work, and it's because of the Stepien rule consecutive. So this is a little bit of an error here for the Mavericks picks. 2028, they do have a pick swap that year. So the Stepien rule is not correct on Fanspo right now. But per Windhorst ESPN, Orlando is all in on Anthony Simons. He says the 2 sides are deep in talks. Is that on Twitter, or where is that at? Hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. A lot of crazy stuff. Obviously, I was not really expecting to go live tonight, but the Kevin Durant news and rumors have definitely picked up. Just so you guys are aware, like the Mavericks do have their 2028 first in here. They have a, to be completely honest, the asset that they have is a swap option that they owe to the Thunder. So it's not correct here. They have the less favorable of those picks. So hopefully Fanspo can get that corrected. as well. But I think that's an important note. So it's going to say failed here, but it actually does work. Mavericks are shedding salary as a first apron team. Suns are shedding salary here at $3.2 million, and the Wizards are below the first apron, excuse me. And then the Wizards are using a trade exception here to eat Dwight Powell's contract. It's a lot to give up. You're giving up 3 rotation players if you're Dallas, 3 rotation players and 3 first-round picks. I think, again, this is a significant way to improve the Phoenix Suns. And my long position has been any Kevin Durant trade will help the Phoenix Suns significantly. We'll see what ultimately materializes here, but I'm very much interested in seeing how this goes. Reddick here says, give me some Memphis trade machine. We will talk about Memphis here very shortly. Proletarium says Anthony's going to blow up on his next team. So much talent, still so young, fastest 3-point release in the game. Yeah, Anthony Simons is really awesome. And again, the position I've taken is, his contract to Orlando for other matching salary and picks. And I think that's what we're probably going to see here at this trade deadline if Windhorse is reporting it. JJ says, yo, what's up, Utility? Glad to see you're live again. We are live. Almost 1,000 people watching right now. Absolutely insane stuff. The Mavs will have no depth after. Well, yes, that's kind of the problem. Again, if you see what I don't like about these trades, and especially all 3 of these teams, Golden State doesn't have a huge matching salary. Houston does, but they probably won't use Fred VanVleet in the deal. So it becomes all these other young guys. Okay, sorry about the balloons. And then third, Dallas, again, they don't have a huge contract they would include. They have AD, they have Kyrie. The goal is to put Durant into a big 3 with those 2. So if you look at what Dallas would have after this trade, it would be at the point guard Kyrie Irving, at the 2 Max Christie, at the 3 Kevin Durant, at the 4 Anthony Davis, and at the 5 Derek Lively once he's healthy. Off the bench, you'd have Dinwiddie and Hardy. You would also have Najee Marshall and Max Prosper. That's a pretty damn good top 8 or 9, honestly. Like, you are sacrificing quite a bit of talent and depth, but you are in a situation where your roster would be really, really darn good. You'd have 2 elite offensive creators in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. You'd have an elite defensive front court going into the playoffs if Lively comes back healthy, paired with Anthony Davis. And you have versatile wings who can do other things. Najee Marshall, obviously a 3-and-D kind of plus player, does a lot of impressive stuff. Okay, we have news over on Twitter. I'm going to go over to Twitter. Thank you guys for all your tweets at me. It helps me a ton here during the streams. Let's go to this one right here. Avid Washington Wizard fan, thank you for tagging me on that. Per Steve B. Hoop here, Chris Middleton to Wizards for Kuzma, and Jonas Valanciunas, Yusuf Nurkic swap is getting close. We'll see how that kind of materializes. Obviously, there would have to be some other salary. That salary could be Sadiq Bey. Could be included in some deal. This is insane, some of the stuff we're seeing, but we'll have to see. I mean, if this actually happens, that would be insane. Now I don't know Steve B. Hoop. I really don't, but he's got 31,000 followers, so I'm going to somewhat trust it. Okay, I'm going to somewhat trust it. We'll see. But again, if you haven't seen this, Kevin Durant is listed as doubtful with an ankle sprain for Tuesday or for tomorrow's game against OKC. So we'll see what happens here. A lot of crazy moving pieces here. The Phoenix Suns might be completely changing and altering the course of NBA history tonight. And it could be something with Kevin Durant, who would be traded once again, thinking about, he'd be on his 5th team. He would have gone from OKC to Golden State to, of course, Brooklyn, and then Phoenix, and now ultimately to team number 5. Could be Golden State again, so maybe that's not really quote-unquote team number 5, but things are crazy. Joseph here says 7 teams have talked to the Hornets, although he's dealing with a sports hernia injury, talking about Cody Martin. Cody Martin's going to have a lot of suitors. American Cheese says that's too much that the Mavs are giving up for KD. I would just make another minor trade. The issue here again, though, remember who Nico Harrison is. He's a Nike executive, and Kevin Durant is a Nike signature athlete. It is not accidental. This is not accidental Where did that one go? I need to my Nike executive tweet. All three of Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant have been with Nike in their careers. This is not an accident. This is not a surprise, okay? Tomorrow is going to be insane. Tonight might be insane. Medford Roofing says, hi, LOL. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope you guys are enjoying. Make sure to smash that like button. A second stream today. Not really what I was anticipating. We're at 96 likes, so only 4 of you have to hit the like button. Let's get to at least 100. OG Tony, thank you for the 5. He sends in some fire emojis and some lightning bolts. Let's get W's in the chat for our super chatters. Appreciate you guys all. Ethan, again, Levi, as well as Tag Live 205 Talk Show, and OG Tony. Thank you guys all so much for the super chats. Obviously helps support the channel here a lot. Absolutely insane what we're seeing right now, okay? The trade deadline is Thursday, February 6th at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Aaron Roy, one of the OG viewers on the channel. Let's get some W's in here for Aaron too. Aaron Roy, he has been watching the channel for a long time. So shout out to him. Robert here wants to know if Durant to Dallas is possible. It is. The financial component here of this. Oh yeah, and Mavs already got Caleb Martin too, so he would be factoring into their wings as well, which again would be very fascinating. But I think just with all things, I didn't want to put Twitter back on. Things are going to be shaking up here, but a Durant to Dallas deal would look something like this. Okay, it's going to say failed because of the because there's a little bit of an error on Fanspo. It's okay. That's why you guys watch me, because I know all the rules. I know where everything is. Okay, this works. This trade actually legitimately works. It would be Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Dante Exum, 3 first-round picks, the 2 that Dallas has remaining, and a 2029 Lakers first that they got from the Luka Doncic trade, which again I'm shaking my head at. The Mavericks get Kevin Durant. They build a big 3 of Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis, and they also walk away with Caleb Martin still. They still have Max Christie. They have Derek Lively still, who's hurt right now, so it would test them a little bit during the regular season. But it would be absolutely insane if something does materialize here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying. I am going to wrap up the stream here. I wanted to talk through these Kevin Durant trades. I wanted to talk through everything Kevin Durant today. Because I do think a Kevin Durant trade is possible. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the stream. I know it's just a quick little 40-minute stream or so, but I wanted you guys to know that there was something really possible going on the horizon. Okay, this is a special little bonus stream. I know it's not very long, but again, if you guys enjoyed, please smash that like button, subscribe. Let's see how many likes we can get to here. I bet we cannot get to 300 likes. Everyone hit that like button right now. Again, very short stream, but I really hope you guys appreciate it. Let's get some W's in the chat. Appreciate you guys. Everyone spam some W's here at the end of the stream. I'm going to say it. Typically going into certain trade deadlines, I'm not super optimistic about huge trades. This trade deadline is going to be a doozy. It's going to be insane. I'm telling you right now, when there's smoke, there's fire. There's a hell of a lot of smoke. Stay tuned. We're going to be live tomorrow. Okay. And if something happens tonight, I'm going live immediately. Okay. I'm going to have thumbnails ready. I'm ready. Okay. I am ready. So appreciate everyone. Let's get some hype for Texas sports down there below too. I'm going to stop the stream for now. Gonna go watch some NBA basketball, of course. But oh my goodness, we might be due for the biggest trade deadline in NBA history. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Go leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel for more, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.